or something. So the government should know, what are you selling, what are you doing, from what time to what time, how do you navigate. So
And
a license is important.
to take you back in our previous episode of taxation, our expert elaborated more on you making your business out there.
Yeah.
The part of the team is why he says that it is very important for you in the future, in the long run. You may be actually a videographer or a camera person.
Yeah.
You may not know that if my thing is verified out there, I will get a chance to work with the government.
Yeah.
So if you have a license, no matter the business you're doing, it is for the future of your business. Like your coming works, you might have that big gig with the UN, a big gig with the Red Cross. But if you're not identified as a person already, like your business is not known out there, and you're not having particular documents which talk about you, you cannot, get those opportunities.
Yeah. Speaking of the government, when you talked about the government, some people out there might not know where these licenses come from.
Yes.
So there are certain agencies and organizations by governments that are intended to regulate the quality of the activity that is being licensed. So someone out there would be like, how do I purchase one? Where do I get this license from? Yeah, how do you purchase one? There are government agencies. We shall help you elaborate more about that as we continue this whole conversation.
So one of those agencies is actually KCCA. But before we move down to KCCA, how about if we dissect the different types of licenses so that people really know what are we talking about?
Yeah, Martha talked about the camera people having licenses. The camera people fall under the profession type of license. These are people. This is whereby someone goes to an institution, could be a university, could be school, to learn something, like learn some skills out of it. It could be engineering, business, architecture, the nurses, the doctors, all those people, they fall under the professional type of license. Yeah.
Then there is also a business license. And most times, a business license, a very good example is the KCCA license. KCCA in full is Kampala Capital City Authority.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows that. And most importantly, KCCA does very many of the things in the city. For example, planning, but most importantly, the cleaning. You realize that we need cleaning services for the business because people keep, the plastics, there's a lot of packaging that comes with the plastics and all these things. So these things have to be collected. But the moment you lack a KCCA license, that means you're rubbish. Like you can't get these services, and also they will lock your shop. I think they usually come in once in a while.
They ask for those documents.
Yes, and I think also KCCA, once you have this license, there is money that you pay. So I think that money is able to facilitate KCCA to carry on other things within a city. Yeah. So as a business person in Kampala, KCCA license is important.
There is also a sector-specific license. Well, the sector-specific license, it's depending on your job. For example, if you're running a hotel, like a normal hotel, you would need to go to Ministry of Tourism. It's a tourist attraction. It keeps tourists. It's under the tourism sector. Specifically, it is for you to go to your particular ministry. I'm giving an example of a ministry because that's where you can easily get your license from. So, for example, if you're having a hotel, you will have to go to the Ministry of Tourism to get your license.
Yeah.
If you're having like a farm, you have to go to the Ministry of Agriculture to get your license. So it is living with you with whatever thing you're doing. There's a particular sector in our country which helps you get your license, and this is very good for you. You'll be actually known by the ministry. For example, if ministry is going to have tourists for sports, for example, can easily recommend you, these guys are here and they are good and blah blah blah. You can easily get something from there.
Yeah, speaking of we've talked about the professional type of license. There is also occupational type of license. Those two may seem similar, but they are a little bit different. Like they're far different from each other. Now for the occupational part, this is where you work in a certain environment. Let's say you could be a plumber, but it could be for anyone working in any working place. Yeah.
Basically, I would want to expand more on the occupational thing. It's occupational safety and health. So most times we are in environments working, earning money, but we are exposed to different hazards, things that are dangerous, that are toxic. For example, news editors, you sit on a screen for all these hours. What's your posture? The amount of light that you're taking in. All these things, like for example, you're in a factory and there's this thing when when you're, for example, cutting metal, there is that light that is too much that comes, you get.
No,
When you're carrying luggage, the stress that comes onto your body, you should have a license for that, you know.
But you cannot tell someone who is welding, for example, to go and get a license.
No, not really.
You cannot
I think
actually
the owner
not
of that business.
No, you realize most of these businesses, for example, the people who do welding, it's me, like it's an owned business, and not in a rude way or something, but these guys, most of them, you can't tell them to wake up this one morning, go to, for example, a hospital, go and put all their workers under a particular regulation that, you know, you need to be protected. But well, it is still important, though
It is very important.
it's going to take us a lot of time as a
Do you know why
country to tell those guys who are having such businesses to, you know, get those licenses. Like, omuntu oyo once sitasobola kugenda na, you know, wake up in the morning, I need a trade, I need a health license. I mean, for what? They believe they've been doing this for a long time, but
Yeah, but
Yeah. Not forgetting also about the driver's license for the guys that are in the business of driving. Well, let's hit the streets and get some of the ideas about licenses.
A license is basically, in simple terms, I know it's one of the ways of being compliant when it comes to paying taxes or revenue to the government. Some of these things get back to the government in terms of economic growth, because when these revenues are paid to the government, they are diverted back to other sectors like ministries, like health, schools and what, so roads and all that, those other sectors. So to me, I find it healthy paying taxes because it makes me run smoothly as a business person. And, you know, being, it would be one of the best things that I would go for when I'm exempted from tax. But on the other case, it also makes me run smoothly in terms of business, because most of the clients that we deal with require VAT-registered companies, okay, so that it's easy for them to transfer when it comes to payments and all that. We do EFTs and so we don't, cash no longer works. So for you to get smooth flow of business, you need to have those proper payment plans in terms of, you know, when it comes to URA and, you know, stuff like that, paying income tax, VAT and all that. So
what I know, a license can help you, like when police comes to show like an authorization for you, it can help you like an authorization for you to operate. That your products which you are selling, they are in good hand, they are not expired.
License, to me, I understand by word of license means ensuring way forward. It makes you to allow you to make that business, to so that you are really allowed to do the business, the kind of the business you are doing, which kind of the business you wanted to do. So you go and insure, you go so that you get the license to make sure you are really allowed to do that kind of the business.
whenever we hit the streets, we learn a lot from these guys. It's a benefit for the one watching and also us, and also our expert we interact with. Well, at least we have a view from who is already doing this, who is already earning from whatever job, and who is already knowing the importance or not knowing the importance of, for example, a business license. What has been from the street, and we've learned a lot.
Yeah, the streets were really exciting, and we'll be back. Please share the link, and most importantly, our social media platforms all have Smart 24 TV, and for YouTube, we are Smart 24 TV Live. Continuing the conversation, I was still having, you know, I'm an environmentalist, and I love the environment. And occupational safety and health is part of that. So I'm still emphasizing that, yes, Martha, you're right that these people will feel like it's a badge or they're being disturbed to get these licenses. But at the end of the day, you know, there are things that happen to you and you may not notice until you clock 45 and you're blind. You're, for example, having backache, headache, and time comes and you're like, you know, that sort of thing. So occupational safety and health licenses are so important for your health because, of course, labor is part of your capital. If your labor ain't functioning, then
as Ugandans, I think we just need to embrace it, because some workers would be like, some bosses, okay, sorry to say, some bosses could be like, no, if someone falls sick, they will leave and I'll get some other people.
But that's
So
being
we just have to
inconsiderate.
embrace
That's
it.
being
We just have to
mean.
embrace it as Ugandans and be nice to these people and care about their health as well.
But it also
Yeah.
goes back to our government. It's very important for the government to teach these guys, like, to really educate, help people understand the benefits of these tiny little things which are really helping their life. I mean, you can't, at the moment in our country, you can't tell us that people don't know why should I need my health to be protected.
Yeah.
That is very sad. But really, it's important for us to protect our lives. And another type of license we're continuing the conversation is a trade license.
Yeah.
It's an overall. Every business must have a trade license. This is going to protect you, and remember, it connects you to the big jobs. And you can get this license from any local government authority which can operate. You can get this license from any local government authority or entity in your place. It can help you protect, it can help you run your business in a legit way. Guys, let us just, learn and love these things.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of getting this license to help businesses, well, if we could talk about some of the importances of someone would be like, I'm operating my business without one. Like, what would be the problem?
I think before we get into the importances, someone would wonder what are the requirements, because you know that the requirements actually the things people minimize a lot.
Yeah.
Very many people lack national IDs. You know?
Guys,
Shall talk about this
National
over and over
IDs.
again.
National IDs, we come to
National
sing
IDs.
again. Please get national IDs, not only for voting, but for also these tiny
but
things.
let me say something about this national ID thing. Guys at near offices are very rude. Some of them.
Oh,
I myself, I don't have a national ID. It is very sad. But I've tried. I've looked for this thing. I finally talked about this. I have looked for my national ID. I've called those guys.
well,
But it's really sad that when you go to those offices, those guys are rude.
yeah, to solve your problem. So there's this thing that is going to happen next year, whereby everyone is going to renew their national
I'll be
ID.
Okay.
So use that chance, register for the new one and get a new national
But most
ID.
importantly,
country
she has
next
passed her what communication on air. I'm
plus-
pretty sure that Nira guys are going to hear
That's
you
how they
out.
come for you.
No, but I've been to New York offices. Those guys have been rude to me.
Oh, sorry about that.
I cried from there.
Anyway, somebody was still talking about the requirements. Some of the requirements.
So number one, national ID. Number two, I think you also need a TIN.
Yeah.
What is TIN in full?
Tax identification number.
Yes,
In my
a-
voice.
yeah, a TIN. So you might think that a TIN is not so important, but one of the other requirements is certificate of incorporation.
Yeah.
And in that certificate of incorporation, the board members of a particular company should have TIN numbers. You
Yeah,
get?
this is-
How
about
about
what
for
you-
someone downtown, someone down there, someone?
No. Yesterday, okay, we were talking to someone at Uganda Revenue Authority. I told us these things, you see, you guys, the youth are complaining, people are saying these things are not important.
Yeah.
Well, a team and the certificate of incorporation is really, really important. No matter the business you're operating. But remember, if you watch the previous episode, they said if you're earning less than 10 million, the teams is not eligible for that one.
Yeah.
But
They won't cut your money.
no, it's only for 10 million and above.
But how many businesses are above 10 million?
There are very many. by
There are
now.
lots and lots of them.
How
Yeah,
many businesses are below 10 million?
that's a very many.
Okay.
And our country still operates on very many informal businesses.
Yeah.
But
That's
that
right.
is going to change with time. We believe it's going to change with the good things the URA is providing for us, you guys. It's going to be epic.
So coming back again, one of the other things, requirements of getting a license, the premises. They should be, I think they should be a certain way that meets the standards.
Yeah.
more detailed information. He's going to tell you more about everything we've actually talked about. He's going to explain every single detail of our license. Keep watching The Lounge as we discuss licensing a business.
My name is Aina Raymond. I'm a lawyer with Chirunda Wasige, located in Kololo, Wampeo Close, Sotu. It's important that in this discussion we are going to deal with licenses and permits in businesses. Specifically, we are going to address how licenses and permits relate to the youth, how the youth licenses and permits can in one bracket. So basically, we are going to bring licenses, permits, and the youth into one bracket and discuss that as a topic. But to start, it's important to understand what a permit is and to whom does the permit apply, or a license in this case. The two terms are not ideally the same, licenses and permits. Each applies to a particular circumstance where the law provides that it will apply. But a license or a permit, by definition, in a more simplified way, would be permission from the regulatory authority or from the controlling authority allowing you to trade. A trade under the law is basically the activity of somebody engaging in selling and buying of goods or services, or the provision of services. Ideally, that's what we are going to cover today and how it relates to the youth. The first and the main reason as to why we should have a license, or any youth that is intending to start a business or operate a business in Uganda should have a license or a permit, is one, it gives you legal validity. Yeah. In this country, under the law, you cannot legally do any form of trade without a permit or a license under that particular trade, or under the laws that govern that particular trade. For you to continue to actually carry out that business without that license or permit, you're basically opening yourself up to sanctions in the law. This would amount to imprisonment or a fine, depending on what the court will determine the moment you're presented before that court. Secondly, a license by its nature, or the effect, the intended effect behind a license, is that it gives you, it's basically the regulatory authority saying that it's safe to deal with this business. They are saying that we've assessed what they do, we've assessed how they do it, where they do it from, and we are basically encouraging the public to go ahead and deal with them. That's why we've given them this license to continue to operate. And third is that a license by its nature allows you to trade outside a particular limit. If you have a license, let's assume in Kampala Central, but you intend to go ahead and expand, maybe open up another branch, yeah, that license will allow you to open up that other branch within Kampala still, yeah, without necessarily having to contract an agent or a distributor. With contracting an agent and a distributor, different other costs come in. You have to engage lawyers to draft an agency agreement, a distributorship agreement. On the other hand, if you already have a license, all you have to do is open up that branch and send employees to work there. So all in all, it basically gives you the freedom to do your job, or to open up that business without any legal restrictions on what you want to do or on what you're actually doing. And it gives you the freedom to expand and grow. In a capitalist state like this one, that's very important. It's very important, actually, before we go into what it takes, to understand what are the types of licenses or permits. Majorly, the main license that everybody should have, anybody doing a trade, like I said in the start, that anybody doing a trade must have a license. The main important one is the trading license. That one is given to everybody. The moment you decide that I'm going to trade, I'm going to sell or buy or provide a service in a particular area, then you must have that trading license. That's the way it is called. But secondly, there are other licenses that simply come, like a hawker's license. A hawker, they are the batembe that we know. You need a license to actually do that job. You don't just wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to begin to tembea these things without necessarily getting the license. You need you need that license, that permission to go ahead in a particular area to hawk those things. The other one is the traveling wholesale license. We've seen vehicles that move with products to different areas, and they just park by the roadside, and then they distribute these goods to these particular people at a wholesale price. Yeah, it's important that those people have a license. Their license is a little broader because of the spectrum within which they work. Yeah, they carry out trade in the whole country. They come from Kampala. If you are taking the Mbara route, they pass by Nsanji, Masaka, Lyantonde, Mbara, up to the other end. So they need a license that covers all those areas. That's why they have a special license for a traveler who actually engages in wholesale trade. Those are the main three that we have. There are others like the workers permit, if you intend to bring in an expatriate to do work in Uganda. We have another that is called the export permits. You intend to export timber, you intend to export minerals, but those are not businesses that the youths have actually engaged in, really. They have been excluded. They're exclusive to a particular group or to a particular age group at this point when you look at the demographics.
Well, that's what our expert had for you, and right about now we are going to take a short commercial break and we are going to be right back.
Smart 24, driving business. Say goodbye to paperwork and travel costs. Now every MTN customer can register to invest in securities anytime and anywhere with Zabu in a few simple steps. Step 1. Dial *292 hash. Step 2. Select option 1. Register with Zabu. Step 3. Enter your full names. Step 4. Enter your national identification number. Step 5. Enter your national identification card number. In 24 hours, you will receive an SMS confirming your registration. Congratulations, you are now ready to invest. The taste of Uganda in a new international park. Smart 24, driving business.
Thanks for sticking around. Well, let's just dive into the importances of licenses when it comes to one having or operating a business. With myself, I would think about credibility when it comes to licenses. Yeah. Like that trust, it helps you have that trust when it comes to your customers, clients. It could be investors, people that want to join your business. When you have a license, someone doesn't need to even ask around, should I trust this person? Should I trust this business? You get, they will trust you fully. Like they know they are safe. Their money is safe with you. Yes. If they want to invest with you as well.
Talking about trust, do you realize that those licenses, they put them up in the shop? Like the ore is actually framed.
Some can frame.
Yeah, so I mean, I think you should try framing your licenses and putting them up for people to usually see, so that they know that you're certified with our government,
Yeah.
and they can work with you.
When I get my first license for my job, I'll have a T-shirt with it.
Oh my God, that's very wonderful.
Okay. I'm
And
waiting.
also on regards to the thing of trust. So for example, if you have a pharmacy and you have a license inside your pharmacy,
Yeah.
even if people are going to do bad things at your pharmacy, I mean, they are really sure they are with the right person.
Yeah.
So this entire thing of having a license, it's beautiful, it is amazing. Another thing, if you have a license, it's very important because there's that legal recognition.
Yes.
Legally you're known by government, legally you're known by the law that you actually exist, and in case of any framing that bad things, you know how people want to spoil people's good businesses, you
Yeah.
are known. You can go to court, you can go to anywhere and to any place and you're helped.
And-
so clearly if you have that license, even if you could be
Yeah. You're
and
safe.
if
You're the safe side.
you're very safe.
So I
Speaking
think
of
licenses are important.
Yeah. Speaking of legalities, just to add more on what Martha has said, also it puts you on the wrong side when it comes to businesses when you don't have a license.
Wrong, like what
Yeah,
we
it's like yes, you could be you could get penalties or fines for not having one, and you're operating a business because it's illegal in the country. You get so just get the license to save yourself from all that.
Well, I'm talking about businesses. That's what actually I wanted to say. For a person to succeed, like it all known to young viewers and parents and everyone who is out there, you have to work hand in hand with the government. You like it all known. Without the government, without you being compliant to the system, of course you're going to get issues. Because you might think you might have just bought your stock and then they come for you. And then the disruption. Sometimes also, in case maybe you guys have been dragged to court over any case,
Yeah,
the first thing they will look at is, are you licensed?
yeah,
If you're not licensed, you might end up in
Illegal.
prison,
Yeah.
for months or for years that you don't know, and that will of course affect you as an individual. Apart from the business, because also the business might get locked up since most people are sole proprietors. Like I've already said, they die the owner, die the business. Like of course you're not there.
Say it again.
Say it again.
They die the owner, die the business.
What does that thing mean?
I mean, most times, for sole proprietorship, these businesses, when someone is alone, you're the cashier, you're the accountant, you're the one who mops,
Why are you
you're the one who...
selfish? Why are you selfish though?
So if the system gets you for not being compliant, you're not there, this business is not going to run,
Yeah, yeah.
So licenses are very important because you're being compliant to the government, and the government can also help you.
There is also the competitive advantage side of it. Just imagine there is a certain investor and you need someone to invest some good money in your business. Imagine there is this person, the person you're competing with in that business doesn't have the license and you have one. Honey boo, you're safe. That person will not think twice. They'll just come straight to invest in your business.
Hooray.
So why wouldn't you purchase one? Licenses are very important.
And also licenses are important.
Let's all get it.
Because like I earlier said, that licenses are job descriptions.
Yeah.
What are you people doing? So there is, I usually want us to look into that bigger picture. Well, you may be a young person out there and having a small pocket money, but the time will come where you may need to serve the government still, in forms of tenders and all these things.
Yeah.
So of course, if you're not, because the job description of course enables you to, enables any person to know what you've come to exactly do.
Yeah.
And so they'll know what exactly you're dealing with, and in case maybe there is some procurement needed, or maybe media or anything, they'll easily give you this tender. And of course tenders come with a lot of money.
Yeah,
And it also
lot of
doesn't
money.
have to be about government alone.
Yeah.
Imagine there's for the people that sell their stuff online, imagine someone is in Kenya or Tanzania and they want to buy certain things from you. Honestly, you don't have a license. How would I trust your products? Why would I even buy from you?
Like when you have a license, you have that public safety. I mean, as we're wrapping up the show, you should know your things are safe if they have a license, if they are known and they're recognized by the government and big bodies.
Yeah.
And by the way, the other thing we forget, for example, if you have a license, it will be actually easy for you to get a loan.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
sure?
you have a problem.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yes,
that's what I
'cause
wanted to
it's one of the requirements. I mean, a bank can't give you a loan if you're not out there, if you're not known. Keep watching the business launch and you will know these things. You have this entire thing in your head, this knowledge, you will have it with you and you will know how it will help you run your business. Continuing with our expert, he's going to give us more information in regards to licensing a business.
Yeah.
More elaborated, example-driven information in terms of licensing a business. Keep watching.
Under the law, different businesses are graded as different businesses. If it's jewelry, it's jewelry. And if it's, let's say, drug shop, it's a drug shop. So those two don't mix. In other words, we don't have a name in the law that encompasses a drug shop and a jewelry shop. We don't have a name in the law that encompasses a jewelry shop and a phone shop, an accessory shop. So by that effect, the moment you make that decision and you say that this is what I'm going to do, you've also made that decision to be bound by what the law says. In other words, you are going to be graded differently for the different instances. You're going to have a license for the drug shop or for the phone shop, and you're going to have a license for the accessories part. The very first one is the legal sanction. The legal sanction is always there waiting for you at any point in time. Yeah. Of course, we should also be alive to the fact that we have online businesses. Yeah. It is not ideal, and it's very hard to actually enforce these laws when it comes to the online businesses. There is no way I'm going to follow somebody's Instagram business to where they are. Yeah. All I have to do is contact them and ask them to deliver. They don't necessarily have a physical address. Yeah, so that's the problem that we have, or the problem that the law did not anticipate at the time it was made. You'll notice this law is very old. It's a 1910 law. You see the years in between there are so many. But the legal sanction still fines you the moment you have a physical address. Yeah. The legal sanction, ideally in the law, it was 12 months imprisonment and a fine of 10K. Yeah. But when you see that fine of 10K these days, it's not a deterrent thing anymore. So the courts may be willing to go a little above that. The moment you find yourself in a position where you are before a judge, you've deliberately refused to pay for a trading license, or you've refused to actually get one, the judge may go ahead and sentence you to more than that, because the law is ideally meant to discourage people from operating without a trading license. But also, the way we started, I stated that this is basically the regulatory authority is saying that it is safe to deal with this person. The moment you refuse to get a trading license, it goes back to your credibility and trustworthiness. You're basically saying that I don't have the go-ahead from the authorities. In other words, all that I'm doing, I'm dealing with you at your own risk. Not necessarily at my risk, but at your own risk. So, I don't have a trading license. I have not registered a business name. Yeah, we are assuming. So, there is no way of me enforcing in case of liability against you. You are non-existent in the law. You are just a person that is engaging in trade, not necessarily recognized as somebody engaging in trade. So there is that downside. It goes against your image as a business owner. It's not just about the law and you being in position to be put in prison. It's about the fact that it distorts the image that you want to create among your target market. We all have a particular target market. And the moment you don't make it right with that target market, then it will distort the way you're dealing with business. Yeah, it will go away from the fact that you are trying to encourage customers to come, and then it will discourage them because you lack that approval from the authorities. My own word is that it's an ideal situation. By the time we decide to get into a business, by the time you decide and say, I want to be self-employed or I want to have a side hustle, the presumption is you've thought through. Yeah, you've considered all the things that must come. Yeah, and you don't want to start off on the wrong foot. You don't want to start off running around with the authorities saying, I have these goods, I have this business, but I can't do anything with it because I lack this. So it's ideal, it's entirely ideal and good actually to start on the right foot. Get the trading license and proceed. Secondly, I will assume that most of us, by the time we spent on campus, we have a few lawyer friends here and there. Of course, it's not ideal to call your lawyer and tell him, lawyer, a quick one, because that's their trade. They will charge you a particular fee, but they will guide you easily. In an instance where you can't do any of that, just go into the KCCA website. Yeah, I will assume we are assuming that we are dealing with KCCA as a case study. Go into the KCCA website and then navigate through that website step by step, because the prompts are there. They also provide you with a PDF detailing the steps you must take to acquire this license. At least they have tried to go the extra mile to include everybody that intends to start a business. In this case, it would be the youth, because for them, information is more accessible online than it is offline. Yeah.
As Amuganda says, we usually bring on the experts to let us know more because we know they know more. So usually don't skip those parts, because I know most of you are like, no, this is boring, it's not exciting, but you learn a lot. And we'll be back from our expert, and I hope you learned a thing or two.
If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, it's really sad. If you don't like and comment, it is more sad. I mean, why aren't you doing that? Guys, you're missing out. You're missing out on good content. Keep watching the launch, and this expert gave us all we need. I was really attentive. I learned a lot, and it is going to help me when I'm opening up my business. Watch out for it, guys.
For anyone out there and you're thinking you don't need the license in your business or when you're operating one, trust me, you need it. Reason being, there are bottlenecks attached to it. You will get legal penalties. You will lose credibility when it comes to your clients or potential investors or anyone. Just purchase the license. It's really important in your business. I am Bronia. Thank you for watching the launch.
Away from the licenses, we've always been talking about the education system in the country, and realize that financial literacy is something that is not usually given out, and this is what the Youth Business Lounge is here for. We are here to make sure that you're financially literate and you make the best decisions once you start your business as a young person. So young people, parents, Uganda as a whole, East Africa as a whole, please watch the show, share the link, subscribe, comment, do everything. And I hope you've learned more about licenses. Please comply, and my name is Samali. See you next Saturday.
This beautiful ambience is Onomo Hotel. It is at Nakasero. This place is very amazing. It smells rich. Your skin can change when you're here. It has good food. You know what I'm saying? It has the most nice food I've eaten so far. So guys, come by, come and have fun, come swim, gym, get those massages, the spa and everything. They're all available. Well, it has been the Youth Business Lounge where we discuss the youth in business. Thank you for watching. My name is Martha. Have a great week. Bye.